Good evening and welcome to Sunset News this Wednesday evening. As always, we bring you news, community stories, economic, weather, and sports. I am Glenora Shipura.
And I am Jemima Beatrice.
How are you doing, Jemima?
I am doing very well, thank you, especially now that we're approaching the festive season and holidays.
Exactly, now that we're approaching the festive season, or we're in the festive season, most of the people have taken their leave and they're on holiday as we speak, which is nice for them. Can you tell me a little bit about your t-shirt? I noticed earlier on you're wearing this very beautiful t-shirt with a beautiful message.
So this T-shirt is, I suppose it's in commemoration rather than celebration of the ending impunity for crimes against journalists this year. And this year, the Namibia Media Professionals Union and Namibia Media Trust, the focus was on women journalists because of the increasing violence online and offline. And as you can see, it says here, her voice matters offline and online. So it is basically to raise awareness that there is a lot of harassment going on, sexual harassment online, and intimidation, not only sexual harassment. There are people that have received threats online, women, journalists, just because of the work that they do. So there need to be awareness on what journalists do, and that women can be journalists and strong journalists at that.
I really, really commend you for, spreading the awareness because, like you said, most people don't know about this. So thank you. I didn't also know, so thank you for that. That there is, support for women journalists and in whatever sphere you find yourself, whether it's online or, in person. Now getting into the top stories. Old Mutual short-term insurance proudly announces the successful handover of a $40,000 Namibian sponsorship to the Namibia Road Safety Forum. This contribution is designed to bolster the forum's efforts in conducting activities and acquiring equipment aimed at promoting road safety awareness during the festive season. The NRSF initiative seamlessly aligns with OMSIS's commitment to fostering safety, particularly during a period when an increase in road accidents often result in insurance claims. By championing road safety awareness, the sponsorship aims to reduce motor vehicle accidents on national roads during the festive season. The official handover event took place last week and was facilitated by Johannes Hesekiel, General Manager for Personal Lines at Old Mutual. The event featured the esteemed presence of Horst Hamstad, a representative of NRSF, and Deputy Commissioner PCJ Swartz, the head of the Nampol Traffic Law Enforcement Department. The sponsorship underscores OMSIC's dedication to making a positive impact on road safety in Namibia. This is a great initiative. What are your thoughts?
No, absolutely it is. I mean, road safety in Namibia is definitely a great initiative, not even great, it's very necessary. And my view is actually that it should be not an annual thing, like a year-long thing. It should be, I don't think it should only be intensified during festive seasons, during holiday periods. It should be really a long, throughout the year thing to make sure that it impacts, that people understand, and they are consistently and continuously reminded of the carnages on our roads.
Yeah, I think so too, and I think people get into a habit because yearly they get away with doing reckless behavior, and then December there's this policing around it. But if we were to police it from year on year, I think more people will start respecting the law, I hope, on the roads.
Yeah, I mean, you can, some people.
At least some people, yes. Now getting into our next story, the SWAPO Party Youth League has urged the Information Ministry to direct the Communications Regulatory Authority of Namibia to extend the registration period for SIM cards by another 12 months, saying the 31st of December deadline is unfavorable. SPYL made the plea to Minister Peya Moshelenga, saying the deactivation of SIM cards is bound to have a dire impact on mobile service providers, MTC and TN Mobile. The Youth League said a significant number of residents had yet to register their SIM cards The deactivation of unregistered SIM cards will have a negative impact not only on the two state-owned mobile telecommunications companies, but also on the economy of the country at large, due to the significant reduction in transactions and circulation of money by means of electronic funds transfer, it said. Now, a great number of people were also reliant on cell phone-linked banking services to go about their daily lives. SIM cards being deactivated would bear negative consequences for the economy, the Youth League said. What are your thoughts on this?
My thoughts on this, I think the SWAPO Youth League they should have gone a little beyond just the impact on the economy. I think especially now it's the festive season, like the carnages that we've just talked about, the road accidents. Imagine if someone's number is cut off and touch wood, there's no wood to touch here.
Yes.
But if there's an accident and because of this it's cut off and you can't make that call. And then there's still the question. There are some things that they haven't answered yet, and that is the incessant need for people's biometric data. What are they going to do with that? There's some pertinent questions that these companies need to answer, and they haven't done so yet.
Yeah.
So I think it's unfair that they just cut off people, and it will have really far-reaching implications not only on the society, but I mean, like I've said, what are they doing with our data?
Exactly, and I think there's not a lot of dialogue around this. I mean, yes, there was campaigns, do register your SIM cards, but then there wasn't information sessions, or a lot of them, to just inform the public why so and so is taking place and the importance of this activity. And now we are reaching the deadline, and now everybody's panicking. You know, the companies are panicking, and so as individuals, I'm also realizing, oh my word, I haven't registered all my SIM cards. And then I'm like, does the SIM card that I use for my Wi-Fi router count? You know, there's not a lot of information around this, and I wish that the telecommunications company can come forth and just provide some information.
No, there's definitely not. There's definitely no transparency around this. I have registered my SIM card, and I tried to attempt yesterday to just see if they would have. There's a mechanism in place for me to be notified that my card is already registered, and yet it seemed to want to go the whole way. So it makes you wonder what then is going on.
Exactly. Yes. Like I said, I feel like there's just a lot of. There's just a disconnect, you know, between the telecommunications company and the community at large. Yeah. All right. Now, according to Economic News, bidders line up for the Botswana-Namibia Rail project. We'll be getting into this story after this break.
The Agenda is a weekly national affairs interview program hosted every Sunday by Namibian Sun editor Toyvon Jabela, featuring a panel of high-profile newsmakers, analysts, and experts. The Agenda aims to reach high-end news consumers seeking informed understanding of national issues. This show is broadcasted on NTV, 102.com, and the Namibia Media Holdings Facebook platform. The Agenda focuses on interviews where we put the nation in the hot seat. Contact Agenda at synergy.com.na to get your product and service in the hot seat. The Agenda, focused on today's conversation.
Getting into our economic news, as previously stated before the break, 12 international companies have lined up for a chance to construct a multi-billion-dollar railway line that will connect Namibia and Botswana. The bid forms part of a public-private partnership arrangement for Namibia's landlocked neighbor. The development stage of the project is expected to commence in January 2025. Botswana's Transport Minister Eric Molale told Bloomberg that many companies were eager to finance the construction of the 1,500 kilometer stretch of railway. There is a lot of money out there in the world, and unsolicited bids have been coming in, he said. The United Arab Emirates, the Qataris, the Chinese, the Indians have also come to say this is not a long line for them, and it is in fact a comparatively short one that they can do very quickly. Molale added, Botswana's intention to connect to Namibia's ports via rail is influenced by slow turnaround times for the transfer of shipments at South African ports. The Botswana Chamber of Mines expressed confidence in the project despite years of delays plaguing its development. The railway line is expected to traverse the breadth of the Kalahari Desert and will connect Namibia and Botswana in Hobabes. Wow. Do you believe that this concept, building the railway line opens up the borders, and makes it easy access for people to, especially in terms of trade?
No, trade, because Namibians don't need any.
Yes, exactly.
There's really no hurdles really between Namibia and Botswana for traveling purposes. We can go to Botswana by just merely using our identification cards. We no longer have to use a passport. I think what is very significant about this is that we personally in Namibia, personally, locally, we are sitting with a very aging infrastructure, railway infrastructure. It's ailing, and we have had a number of accidents on our lines for the last few years, in the last decade. The Transnamib has also come under fire for all sorts of, there's been lots of allegations about the management of these railway lines. So it would really be good to see that there's a new line coming. And, Namibia has this big dream to become an economic hub, especially a logistics hub. And making that line accessible to businesses, that's going to just smoothen it for Namibia. Imagine the truckers don't have, it's going to take off we've spoken about accidents earlier, actually.
Yes, exactly.
It's going to take off the burden on the roads. Because we have the very best roads on the continent and some of the best in the world. But because of the volumes of vehicles on these roads, we are also seeing that some of the roads have been damaged. We've just seen a vehicle, there's been a vehicle mass bill introduced in Parliament recently to manage how people are driving on these roads and how the truckers are, in fact, using Namibian roads. So it would really shift that burden from the roads onto the railways. And with green hydrogen also, if it's going through the Kalahari, it's going through, it's going to just really open up. The question is just, it says that international companies are going to come here. So how is it going to benefit Namibian people, Namibian workers? Because that's one of the big problems we have in Namibia, that people come here, they do these things, and then they bring in their people up to bricklayers, up to cleaners. They bring them to Namibia, and then the low-level Namibians don't have access to these jobs in most cases. And so what are really the tangible benefits for Namibia at the end of the day? Yeah,
but would you say that that problem can be answered at the policy or at the lawmaker level, where we have certain stipulations and conditions for operations in Namibia? So and so conditions need to be met for a company to come do something like build a railway and so forth. Would you say that some of these problems can be solved at that level, or?
Well, essentially there are policies. Namibia signed a number of policies in the last few months, and some of them are problematic in the sense that they basically open up Namibia to foreign laborers, to expatriates, and in some cases the question is, are these people really more qualified and experienced than locals? So these are some of the questions. So some of the policies must still be digested that have been signed, what the implications are in terms of trickling down to the labor force and labor conditions. But there's been the issues with the Chinese companies, for instance, where the policies are there. The Home Affairs have these very stringent policies for people coming into Namibia. You can't bring people for low-level jobs when they are Namibians that can do this job. And yet we have found when Amushelelo went to open up some of these, there was a mine, I think, in Chibaronga outside, and they found that they were cleaners on the payroll of that company. So there are always loopholes, so it's difficult. The question is, who must make sure it's all implemented?
Yes,
and
it's the implementation as well.
Are they doing their jobs?
Yeah, somebody did say we do have great policies, but sometimes it's the implementation that is the issue.
We've been saying that for far too long.
For far too long. You're definitely right. Next up is our financial indicators. The Namibian dollar trades against the British pound at 23.58, against the euro at 20.35, against the US dollar at 18.58. 2 Namibian dollars and 60 cents gets you 1 Chinese yuan. On the commodities market, gold and platinum went down, while copper and Brent crude oil went up. Brent crude oil trading at 0.95%, going for $79 and 98 cents per barrel. In international news, massive ships are heading towards South Africa. After the break, we expand on this story.
We've always had the bravery to stand up for what is Namibian, from protecting our homes to fighting injustices. We still celebrate what it means to us and raise a glass to those who show their bravery. No matter how they take on the world, with all this potential in the land of the brave, what will you do to make this Namibia your Namibia?
Connection. It's in the human touch, the feeling of belonging. It inspires us and empowers us, creates clarity from complexity. It starts new conversations, unlocks the power of advice, and makes an impact on your life. At Alex Forbes, we pioneer insight to provide you with advice that connects your decisions of today to your impact tomorrow.
Getting into our international news, as container vessels come under attack in the Red Sea, the world's largest shipping companies are rerouting their vessels away from the Suez Canal towards the coast of South Africa. However, local ports may not benefit from the traffic as they are passed by due to massive local congestion. The Iranian-aligned Yemeni Houthi militant group has launched missiles and drone attacks on ships in the Red Sea. They say this is in solidarity with Hamas following Israel's assault on the Gaza Strip. Niels Haupt, spokesperson for the German shipping giant Hapag-Lloyd, said the company decided on Monday to reroute several vessels through the Cape of Good Hope route because of the attacks. This will be done until the passage through the Suez Canal and the Red Sea will be safe again for vessels and their crews, said Haupt. Now, Safety Mediterranean Shipping Company also reported it will use the route around South Africa after a recent attack on its Platinum 3 container ship. Due to this incident and to protect the lives and safety of our seafarers until the Red Sea passage is safe, MSC ships will not transit the Suez Canal eastbound and westbound. Already now, some services will be rerouted to go via the Cape of Good Hope instead, the company said in a statement. Now, shipping giant Maersk has started to sail around Africa instead, while Taiwanese container shipping line Evergreen said its container ships, which were due to pass through the Red Sea, have been rerouted around the Cape of Good Hope. The group has also decided to stop accepting Israeli cargo temporarily with immediate effect. About 15% of world shipping traffic transits via the Suez Canal, the shortest shipping route between Europe and Asia. Traveling around South Africa means a 3,500 kilometers longer route. Rico Luhmann, an analyst at ING, said the diversions were adding at least a week of sailing time for container liners. This will at least lead to delays in late December rather, with knock-on effects in January and probably February, as the next round will also be delayed, Luhmann said. Wow, this is devastating for companies, shipping companies. What are your thoughts on this?
Devastating for people waiting for their Shein orders?
Exactly. I was thinking the same. I'm waiting for hair, so I'm like, I hope it's not going to be delayed.
Well, it is. You're going to have your hair in March for Independence next year.
Yes, exactly.
Like Nadia, you're going to be naked without a wig.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. So some of these are like concerns that, it's not only affecting shipping companies, but also consumers in general and people who just, want to order things from abroad or wherever. So it's a little bit sad, I would say.
It's not only Shein, we've had a light conversation there, but it goes way beyond that. Namibia is getting our wheat, for instance, from countries like Ukraine, from countries in Asia, and oil also comes from very far, paper as well for our industry. So it will have a very serious trickling effect on our economy going forward. It is unfortunate that this genocide in Palestinians is going on like this, and people are just prolonging it. And sanity doesn't seem to prevail. But one can only hope that, the fact that they have to come around Africa somehow, it will pay.
But I have a feeling that this is also going to have economic impacts as well, because, there's going to be shortages of goods and etc. And then another maybe inflation hike
Absolutely.
Would occur, which is just, and we're already in troubling times, with the inflation that happened during the Ukraine-Russian war and the pandemic and so forth. So I'm hoping we can get a breather soon as nations around the world. What are your thoughts?
Of course, everybody is wishing for a breather. With COVID just not even too far long back, and then now we have this. It is just a very uncertain time for the world at this moment, and a worrying time, because we also see very serious increasing levels of food insecurity, and now this comes. It's going to also affect the delivery of aid to countries around the world, and it is really concerning.
Definitely. After the break, we'll be getting into our weather predictions.
We've always had the bravery to stand up for what is Namibian, from protecting our homes to fighting injustices. We still celebrate what it means to us and raise a glass to those who show their bravery. No matter how they take on the world, with all this potential in the land of the brave, what will you do to make this Namibia your Namibia?
Let's take a look at our weather predictions. Katima Mulilo can expect some showers with a minimum of 22 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 35 degrees Celsius. Oshakati can also expect some showers with a minimum of 23 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 32 degrees Celsius. Henties Bay can expect sunny weather with a minimum of 15 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 20 degrees Celsius. Rehoboth can expect partly cloudy conditions with a minimum of 24 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 35 degrees Celsius. We now take a look at our sports news courtesy of Sports Wrap.
Well, good day, viewers. On today's Sunset News, brought to you by Sports Wrap. Nico Estlinger, fresh from the recent African Junior Swimming Championship in Mauritius, where he won a bronze medal in the under-19 men's open water race, emerged as the inaugural winner of the 2-kilometer Tim Flippy open waters splash at Swakopmund yesterday. While the solo women's winner Maya Brinkman also won a medal at the Commonwealth Youth Games this year and finished the race in overall position of she came out 5th. A solid total of 60 swimmers competed in the solo and relay event at the mall, organized by Olympic Open swimmer Philip Seidler, with 27th Pupkewitz Jetty Mile fast approaching. Seidler expects Estlinger to provide him with some stiff competition. Seidler has declared and renewed his ambition to qualify for the 2024 Olympics in Paris, and despite currently following a stringent training program, he is aiming to win the Jetty Mile for the 10th time next week. Well, that's all that we do have for you on the sports show. With that being said, it is goodbye.
And with that, we've come to the end of the broadcast. Thank you so much, Jemima, for joining us and sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you for having me.
From me, Glenn Rashipura, until next time.